Thank you for joining me for Sketch and Doodle Thursday. And today I have the carnations that we were going to do last week, but we had so much fun doing the other botanical that I decided to hold off until this week for these. I have my sketchbook here. I feel like I'm going to start with this blank page here. And before we start, I want to flip through some of the things we've done in the last couple of weeks. So we're really getting a really nice library of sketches to use in our collages. And as you know, before I start, I like to explore the flower and the plant and just see how the layout is. So when we're looking at the base, we see these two leaves here. This one has two stems coming up that start at the base. And then as I move up, we can look at this one. And here the leaves are opposite each other and they kind of wrap down the stem. And then moving up, we see two more leaves that are opposite each other. And then we're moving up here, there's a bud. And you can see in the bud, there's these two shapes here. And then when we're looking at the flower, there's a lot going on here. We have some green parts here at the base, and then these that go up, and then the flower. And then just moving up, it's the same layout as we go. There's a stem that comes out here at this juncture with the two leaves. And that happens, there's multiple divisions. So what I want to do, I love this part, is starting to take apart the plant so that I can see the different parts better. So this came out of the leaf. We have plenty more here to look at like this, but I love this right here. And then for this flower, I think I'm going to pull out my X-Acto again because that was so much fun last week, cutting that other plant in half. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to dissect this so we can look at it from another perspective. And it might just all fall apart, or maybe not. So here we have this. So all these petals in there. And that's a nice view. Just exploring. Maybe we want to see some of the individual petals here, because these are an interesting shape. So all different views of the same flower here. I'm going to pull another one apart like that to give us plenty. So we have some buds there. We have a flower all together. This one's cut. We have some petals. Maybe we want to look at some leaves. Leaves there. Long, thin. Okay. So there we are. We have many different ways to view that. I've got my sketchbook and my pen. I'm using a 0.8 again. And I'm going to start with something. So maybe I'll start with this. I'm going to go right up to the bud. And I'm going to put these in. So whatever you're seeing, you can start where I'm starting or just wherever you feel inspired. And I'm going to do a couple more like that. So up to the bud. And then adding the different leaves. And I want to do that at least 3 times. I could add some more detail to the bud, like something like that. And I'll do one down here. Just drawing it different ways, different directions. It's just a fun practice, I find. So I'm going to do the bud like that. Feeling like my leaves that I'm drawing aren't thin and long like the ones that are on there, but I'm not trying to draw it exact. I'm just getting into just an observation and just an interpretation of what I'm seeing, just so that I can have a nice library of ideas. I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead and explore this and this. I mean, there's so much going on, but I think I'm going to do this kind of like a sketchy, really fast, like that. And I'm trying to draw it on an angle, which is a little bit trickier for me. I'm making up these shapes because it's hard for me to see exactly because they're not all in the same direction, but I feel like I'm getting it like that. The one other thing, it's going to be hard to see. I'm going to take another one, pull another flower off, because the other thing that we didn't look at is just straight down. And that's a really nice way to view it. And it's going to be hard for me to have it showing like that. So it'll just be off to the side a little bit. So let's try that. You know, maybe I'll hold it as I go. And I'm just doing this. Just kind of moving my pen around. It's not going to look exact. So starting at the center and then moving out. Just kind of doing wavy, squiggly. Now these that we don't have, we can't see the stem if we were looking straight down on it, but that doesn't mean that we can't add one. Because it's kind of fun when you're adding these florals to the collages to see the top from this view. I'll show you what I mean. So from this view, and then add the stem like that. Even though that's not how we see it like this. We could have some flowers that look like that. I'm going to do another one. Okay, and then I'm going to move on to this view here. Or before I do that, I think I'm going to focus on some buds because this was a little bit challenging. This seems a little challenging, so I want to for me, the buds, just like that, are a little bit easier. So I want to kind of relax into something that's not as difficult. There's something like that on there. And again, I could add like that. So I'm going to do another one. Bud shape. Add some leaves down here. Bring that up. Put a stem in there. And kind of swirl that up. And put one more in here. And it gets to the point where I'm not looking at the flower. I might be looking at my sketches for ideas, but I like to do that because then maybe I'll go in a whole different direction that's even further away from the actual plant, and it might give me some interesting ideas. So I'm just looking for a spot, and I'm now focused on that. But before I do that, I think I'm going to just sketch some small, do it more sketchy. So this coming from there. Just kind of getting that shape of it. Maybe with the stem coming off of this direction. Some little bud. Seems like it always has those two leaves right where the stems meet. This is meant to be that green part underneath the flower. And then the flower. Just doing it scribbly, sketchy like that. And one more up here. Bud, the leaves. Not loving that one, that's okay. And I'm wondering if I want to do this one more detailed. Not sure I'm up for it right now. Let's see. This one's feeling a little bit more challenging for me. Not knowing quite where to start, but I'm going to stretch myself and move on. So I'm seeing these here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me kind of pick it up. There's these. And then there's this, and then the white flowers. So I was just starting. I don't know if I'm going to have enough space the way I did this. Just sketching. Just see how that looks and maybe overlap it. There we go. And again, I do enjoy doing it with a pen because it just forces me to just try something, and then I might come up with some style that really feels nice and different to me. Instead of being exactly perfect and taking my eraser out. And again, you do what feels best for you. So if you're somebody that likes to do this practice and erase as you go, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to try to do this without overlapping this other one, because I might want to make photocopies of some of this and then cut around it for collages. I'm also going to show you, I don't know if I've showed it before. I'll be right back. And I'm back. So this is obviously some sketches I did, and what I did is printed out a piece of collage paper, put it in my printer, and then I put my sketchbook in the scanner bed, and then so that this would print on, instead of a white sheet of paper, it printed on a piece of collage paper. So this is really something that is really special, because now I can cut it out. It's got that nice, beautiful collage paper in the background. So this is one of the things that I like to do. So I can cut out any of those and add them to collages, or use this whole thing as a background for a collage. I'm not really sure, but I'll be playing with this absolutely. So getting back, I'm going to see if I want to draw one more like that. Maybe I'll try to do it tiny. Having a hard time doing this one small. So I'll try it again. There's all these different layers of green, and right there I see three different things going on, just like we looked at before, there, and there. And then the flowers, petals. And these, you know, trying to draw this realistically for me, I could spend some time doing it. It's not exactly how I like to do it, but I just like to try to see if I can make it look somewhat like it. And that was nice. So I'm gonna do one more, maybe squeeze one down in here, because once I get started in figuring out a system to simplify the flower enough so that I can draw it how I like. And I could critique these, which I am in my head, and then I try to step back, because when I see this whole thing together, it looks so cool. So yeah, I'm critiquing in my head, and then I say, oh, just enjoy the process and come back and continue. And then the last thing I like to do is maybe throw some of these leaves in here. Just because it's fun to do. And then maybe these petals. I don't know if you can see the white on there, but what I'm seeing is a point down there. It's like that to me. And then it curves up and then gets like that. It's more like that. And I'll do a couple more. It takes me at least 3 goes to start getting into the flow of one of the views, one of the parts. So then once I start getting into it, I want to keep on going. And now you can turn to a new page. If you start running out of room and you don't want to stop. And I'm going to do one more of these. Just a nice, interesting shape. Okay, so I'm finished for today. If you want to keep on drawing, you can pause this and just keep on looking at the flowers and the parts of the flowers. And as I said that, look at, I can't stop myself, but I'm going to stop now. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to our next sketch and doodle session.